Thought you didn't have an older brother.
This was a pancake house which was built of limestone and rough hewn timbers, and a large number of people were employed there. At one time the mill employed 120 people. It was the largest mill in Illinois. This is that breach in the dam again. This is the man who founded the mill and ultimately owned it, Henry L. Bennett. This was taken when he was a young man. He was born in 1828 in Lisle in Broome County, New York, and he died in 1898 in Geneva of uremic poisoning. He was, I have some other pictures of him, but I get plenty of hair, that we can tell.
Guy knew how to shave very precisely.
This is Henry L. in later years, and this is his wife Helen Bliss on the right. She looks like she was a stern disciplinarian, is all I can get out of that.
I'm surprised he didn't die earlier.
Now bear in mind that our father's father, in other words George Bennett, had died essentially before Helen Bliss died. She was the owner of all the family property at that time, and you can imagine how Emily felt going to Grandma to ask for more money to keep the place going. I think that picture was taken just after she had asked.
I think I'd rather jump in the river by the middle than ask her.
This is that same chart. You have this. It shows the genealogy. Alice was born in Conestoga, New York, which is on Lake Oneida. She came back as a one-year-old child by wagon, or however they came back, to Geneva. And Henry L. built, or helped build and ran a steam mill in Sandwich, Illinois. I'll show you a slide of that later. This is George on the left and his father on the right.
Dead ringers.
This is what remained of the steam flouring mill that was built by Henry L. In Sandwich. This is now the Historical Museum in Sandwich. And it looks a lot better, I have to say. This is the house in Geneva, at least some early photos of it. This is before the road was paved, and you had a picket fence in front of it. Below is an early picture of the mill. You'll notice there's just a portion of the mill. The mill was enlarged by Henry L. Bennett. Originally, that building was a paper mill. And it was built about 1840.
Correction, I think it was a sawmill.
Well, it was both. It was a sawmill also, but it was a paper mill first.
Is that photograph taken looking west?
That's taken looking west from the top, from someplace on the hill.
What year?
This would have to be before 1864. Because in 1864, Henry L. came there, and or 1865, and bought into it.
Whose house is that, Richard?
That was Henry L.'s house.
Oh, Henry.
Which became ultimately Annie Mae's house, which became our house.
Right.
This is a picture taken of the inside of the house in the early days, around the turn of the century. And this is a picture taken in 1918 of one of the brothers, and I believe it was Fred, standing out by the flagpole. This is the house as it looked when we left it. That's it. With my brother's 49 four-wheeler parked in front.
Your brother also put on 50 gallons of paint. One time around.
Very beautiful house, but unfortunately it was quite old-fashioned, and it had been built by additions and it had grown by topsy, unfortunately. What, this one? That's Henry L. Bennett's house. The Bennett house.
It was passed to Fred Bennett, who was married to Annie Mae, or Mae Bennett.
We inherited it. No, I didn't grow up in it. We inherited it from Annie Mae.
Your mother, your father,
a couple of lawyers. They own everything.
Must be condos now.
Did you ever live in it?
Yes, sure.
And you better remember that.
My folks lived there all the time I was in college. So you say, did I live in it? I lived in it in the summer, but in the winter I was at the University of Illinois for 5 years.
So your father and...
My father and mother lived there from, well, I don't know, Doris, do you remember the year?
Shortly after we met, it must have been 51 or 52.
51 or 50.
Okay.
Well, it was before that
It was
because we visited you in 50.
This was the owner before us. This is Fred Bennett, who was the son of Henry L. on the left. His wife, Annie Mae, is on the right. And her sister, Miss Newland, who was a maiden school teacher, is standing next to her. And on the left center is Francis Curline.
Right. I thought that was the Untouchables.
This is Annie Mae. Saying, where's the camera? Where's the camera? She lived to be 95 years old, and she was a Christian Scientist all her life and never had a doctor.
Yeah, but died of cancer.
She died of cancer, but she was perfectly willing to go, and she didn't want a doctor.
Well,
When was that photo taken?
actually,
This
that's
was-
not totally true. We ended up with a doctor.
Well, a doctor came
At
in.
the end, at the very end, yes.
Diagnosis
Yes.
is all.
I
There's
know.
Gordo.
They did
This,
more than
yeah, this is Gordo. Hold on to your hats now. Here's some real pictures. There we are.
Hey, there's one.
There's Bonnie almost.
That's funny.
Ken and DJ. Rowena.
Bonnie, don't point yourself out.
Oh, wait, I'm right there. Slower, so we can just go across the back.
Go slower.
Well, first there's Sid, then my dad.
This is Sid on the left in the back. Ken next to him. My brother Gordon, and then my father Ruth.
Okay.
On the extreme right is Myrtle Gates, who is the daughter of Alice Gates, who was the daughter of Henry L.
Who's that down in front?
Dot is seated in the blue down in front. Rowena is in the center.
Ken's wife.
Ken's wife, of course. DJ is on the left.
Bonnie.
Ken is right behind her. Bonnie is in and my mother is in blue.
What year was this taken?
Back of the...
What's the date of this?
This would be right after the war. This is another shot. I'm in this one. This is Sid, Bess, Dot, David, and the mother.
You got to go slower.
Richard, would you go back to the...
Yeah, go back again. Who's Dot? Hey, Dad, who's Dot?
Where do you want me to go? There's some more. There are some more that are coming.
We'll go next to the next.
Go back another one or two, don't we, please, Richard?
That's Annie Mae
And Gordon,
and Gordon.
right there.
Yeah, it's a poor picture. The light is on.
Yeah.
And that's Skippy down at the feet.
And this is Annie Mae and my mother,
Cubby.
Ruth.
Okay.
Little Cubby. Little Skipper.
Hey, don't say my mother, say my mother.
Yeah, my mother Ruth.
Okay, thank you. This is Annie Mae.
Now go forward. And Gordon.
Now wait, two women in blue. Who's
Hold
behind
that
Aunt
one for a
Rowena?
minute.
Well,
This is DJ on the left and Dot on the right. Dot is the wife of Fred Bennett.
a Fred.
Okay, gotcha. And Rowena's in the middle.
And Rowena's in the middle.
And who's in the dark blue?
That's my mother, Ruth.
That's Ruth. You can't see her. And then it's Bonnie.
Bonnie is actually in the bank.
That's all fuzzy.
Who's the next one? Next to Bonnie.
Yeah.
My mom. Oh, is that? And that's
Either that or-
I was
Yeah, yeah.